Hey, so welcome to the illumination process day 20. And to the frequency of 20 is the frequency that we've been exposed to this whole year of 2020. Of course, if you are doing this program still in this year. So we have learned a lot from this frequency, and you will see everything that I will be explaining in the upcoming slides, that a lot of that you went through or was going on a collective level, etc., etc. So today's frequency is really about balancing everything, coming into harmony, which can go also through different extremes. But in the end, we come to this core essence, which is number 0 represents the God self, the source energy. So on one hand, we were talking so much about the frequency of 1, which is really about building your own pillar of light. But number 2 is on the other side also the number of relationships, okay? Relationship with yourself, relationship with the divine, okay? And relationship with other people. So everything about that is then showing up, okay? Going through different extremes. We are getting to know those extremes in relationships, right? Relationships shows us also what we did, okay, on ourselves. For example, we break up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, it doesn't matter. And if you don't see them, you could feel like, oh, I went through this, I'm okay. But then you can see them after a long time and you can actually see, feel where you are at. Are they still opening a lot of things for you? Or are things really changing inside and outside of you? So yeah, it's a lot about the different extremes. We are going to talk also about extremes. It's the frequency that really brings the change and revolution on one way, but we are going to talk about that and go through that in our upcoming slides. So today's mantra is, of course, the frequency of 20 with the combination of 11. I trust in the path I walk on, okay? I trust in what is going on around me. I trust that I am where I need to be. I trust that I'm surrounded by people that I need to be for my growth, for my development, in alignment with my divine plan and what I want to accomplish, where I want to go, okay? Because if also the things that are in your life, people that are in your life, if they are not the way you want them to be, this is just showing you what is still about you that you have to look into, okay? Sometimes it's just also the fact that you are not, I don't know, that you are not honoring your frequency enough, okay? Honoring yourself enough, okay? And your energy that you put out, who you are, all of that. So again, the mantra, I know that I'm always loved, supported, and guided by my team. Okay, I know that I always have this support. Whenever I ask for support, whenever I really ask from my heart, I know that things are going to be taken care of. Okay, please try this. It works every time, believe me. And of course, we're talking about number 2 and number 0. It's also about establishing this relationship with yourself, with the divine, and the deeper connection you have with yourself, the deeper connection you can have with nature, with the divine, with other people around you, with everything, okay? So everything starts with you, as always, okay? So with this, because I'm always telling you, we are going, like the first round was about emotions, And you can see that we are going through everything, okay? We are really looking into the frequency, but the message from the guides is that it's the first round is really about balancing, healing emotions, okay? Emotional body. The second round, like it was like from 10 to 20 now, was about mental, okay? And now it's about relationship, okay? And when you are, for example, 20 years old, you are establishing this relationship with yourself, okay? With the divine, with other people around you. Not that you didn't have relationships before, okay? I'm not telling you that, but it's also about getting to know, like with this year, different things and deciding what you want to do with it, okay? Because like this year really gave us a chance, okay, to think about things, to see what we want to do with our life, to really do this, to really look into things that matters for us in our life, okay? So it is the year of 20. Being 20 years old is like also like stepping in the new decade, and also is like growing up process, okay? And really about developing this relationship with yourself, because with 19 it is also really about seeing the bigger perspective. We are talking about potentials, of course, okay, and the initiations that we have, but it's also here about really building this strong connection and relationship with ourselves. And then, of course, we have more mantras, we have more guidance here. And another thing that I want to point out, I welcome harmony, love, balance, and compassion into my life. Okay, this year, this frequency showed us everything that is not in balance in our life. Okay, it showed us all the illusions we have about ourselves, about other people, about life itself, about society. So it's also really about breaking these illusions and seeing the truth, seeing things as they are. So everything that was not in balance was and is still coming to the surface. I stopped taking things personally. I'm practicing being just a witness, okay? Because seeing this reflection, knowing that everything is not about me, the things that people are reacting according to what is going on inside of them, okay? According to their path and what they went through, okay? And it also depends on your mission, depends on your path. Also, sometimes it's not just about, okay, this person is going to come and it's going to mirror something for you. We are always teachers and also students for one another. But sometimes this person is just going to step into your life. For example, if you have, I'm going to tell you in my example, somebody will step into my life because they need my help, for example, okay? So it's also connected, what I'm trying to say, it's also connected with your purpose, with your mission, okay? So there is always a purpose behind it. And it's never just black and white. It's always multi-layered. And even if they will come for my help, whenever I do a healing for everyone, I also receive a healing. So it's always, even when you are a teacher, you are also and playing this role, because I'm not just a teacher. And even when you are a teacher, you are learning a lot. Okay, so things are always multi-layered, and it's still a mirror is still there. Okay, so it's never-ending story. So I'm practicing being a witness, really observing things, okay, not taking it personally. I practice neutrality, which means that I am in the middle, okay? I'm aware of both extremes. I'm aware of myself. I'm aware and I'm present. I'm grounded, okay? I see what is going on, okay, for myself and for that person on the other side. And this is what I was also mentioning. You have the Facebook Live in my group about ancestors and the family. And I mentioned there, because I was talking about relationships, how important it is to develop focus on two things, and in this, at least two things, so that you can be in this, I can be neutral, and if you can see, like, you have two extremes, or you have two people, but you are here. You're observing yourself, how you and your body is reacting to something that somebody is saying, and you are observing what is going on that side. Okay, and this really helps also to develop compassion for yourself and what is going on with you, being in this center, in this peace, and also to observe and develop compassion for somebody else on the other side. Because, like I explained also in that Facebook Live, we always, and this is what I'm telling you about, is about divided focus, okay? And also I mentioned this with the technique that you are doing every day, okay? I can be here, I can connect at the same time. I'm here, I connect with Gaia, and I connect with the universe, okay? With the core of Gaia and core of the universe. Okay, with my heart, there, I'm done. Okay? Or slowly developing this relationship, that's why I did the recording, and then coming to that state that you can do this in a second. Okay, just say it and it starts. Okay, also, for example, whenever I go on the motorbike, I don't even have to think about it. I totally totally naturally always make protection for myself. Okay, so it happens, especially with the accident that I had. So yeah, you do this naturally. You wake up in the morning, okay, you connect. You go to sleep, you call on the illumination light and ray of light, and you ask for the clearing. Okay, this is the state that when you will come to this, it will be totally naturally. It will not take so much time for you. And it's just gonna be, now you can experience this, like, so how much work, I'm putting out, but then things are gonna be totally naturally. It's like with everything in our life. Okay, with time we are better and better. Okay, so you focus also on the positive. This is also with this frequency. I have faith and trust in myself, in other people, and in the universe. Okay? So it's about focusing on the positive. If we are giving all this energy, what was also the lesson this year, to fears, to like all these extremes, and people were like, that was scary for many, then of course you're going to lose a lot of energy. And that's totally normal and totally logical. Okay? So it's really important, no matter what is happening for you in your life, that you know that also whatever is happening for you. And even if you don't understand it now, you will understand it in the future. Okay, you will understand exactly why things happened, of course, if you will ask. Okay, so 20, the frequency of number 2, different extremes, duality, and of course also about relationship, developing relationship. Number 0, God self, our soul, the divine part of us, the source, the creator. Okay, I explain to you, and you will see also that here with the grail, and how it was, like, why we put the grail in this year's guide, was because I had a picture of 3 things: the triangle and the cup. into the Holy Grail, okay? And the Holy Grail is the Grail of truth, okay? We will come back to this. So, being in the middle, it means being aware of all these aspects, because it's not just one aspect, okay? It's not that you can go just like here to the extreme. You can experience all these steps that you slowly come here in the center, okay? And you can go into the extreme on one side and on the other side, okay? So being in the middle, holding these polarities, having free will, deciding what you want to do, being in the middle, observing, and even if you don't know what you want to do in that moment, you take time, not that you run away, but then you decide. Really holding these polarities, being aware of both polarities, and not self-comforting yourself, what I was also talking about yesterday. Okay? So it's about balance between human self, between soul. Who are you like a soul, and who are you like a human being? And that's why also this year was a year of awakening, okay? A lot of people awakening, questioning, and, like coming to different perspectives, okay? So it's also between you and your family, your loved ones, between you and society, okay? So I focus on the positive, on the bigger picture, and have an optimistic approach. Because even if I don't know what is going on, I know that in time I will know. Life always showed me that things happen for a reason, that they are shaping me, okay? Here I got also the message to include this, which is also from the Facebook Live that I did about your thoughts, your mind. And of course, I'm mentioning many times soul fragmentations, mind fragmentation, split mind, and why this happened because of traumatic experiences, okay? When we experience all these extremes and when we didn't have the support when we needed at the time, when we were experiencing this and we were maybe judged, not understood, not having somebody to listen, to support, to be there for us, okay? And if something like this is happening for us, it's also important, if we don't get this from our loved ones, to find somebody, okay? We have this internet today, okay? To find somebody, Google it, find somebody that went through something like this, somebody you can talk with, or somebody that is expert on that field, and to talk with that person, okay? And because of these traumatic experiences, then it comes to the split mind. And this is the reason why then we cannot connect different dots, okay? We can understand just one extreme or the other extreme, but we cannot understand like what is the CD, what is the balance, okay? If I know these extremes, like how can I be in balance, okay? You just go from one extreme to another extreme, or have these expectations that you're just going to be perfect and there is nothing bad that is going to happen to you, and if it happens, there is something wrong with you or with somebody else, okay? So because of that, it comes to split mind, okay? And that's why we have so many mental problems every year more, okay? With all these expectations from the society, okay? So much anxiety, which is also one of the things, because anxiety shows us that we cannot deal with what is going on, okay? And it's also connected with distrust. But if you want to look more into that, you can watch that Facebook Live. So anyway, this is also the reason why we have all these problems. Many people with bipolar disorder, split personalities, a lot of mood swings, manic depression, impulsive behavior, okay? This is the reason for that, because of all those extremes and unrealistic expectations that we have towards ourselves, okay? So That's why establishing this relationship with ourselves and being okay with who we are and knowing that we do what we can, but we cannot just work, okay? We need also time to for our friends, for recharging, and all of that, okay? So that's why to recognize when it's too much, okay, you need to have this connection, okay? For me, for example, my body screams if I'm not listening to myself. It literally screams. And I immediately have a lesson with it, okay? And of course, sanity and insanity, we are going insane because we are having all these expectations, okay? Or maybe we are experiencing something that it's not really known, and then we feel like we are crazy. And the other thing with mental health is that people are ashamed and they don't want to talk about it. And that's why I'm guided to talk about these things and open these things, okay? Also, I'm just gonna tell you with for me in my journey, when I was like getting messages from spirit and everything, if you don't know that there are people also that they are getting messages like this, you ask yourself if you are sane, you know? Okay? So it's important to talk about things, it's important to connect and know that you are not alone in this. Okay? So here I'm gonna tell you everything was channeled. I just put it on. I'm gonna read a lot, I'm gonna explain a lot, and really today it was just channeled. They just want me to give you this information that is here. Okay? So first I explained these two frequency of 2 and 0. And this also means we were having this picture of two hearts of also, and you can go back into that recording, into that video. And we had also this picture of also hugging the shadow parts of us, okay? And this prism, this lens of these many mirrors that we slowly, like you can see here, see all these aspects, all these fragments, and slowly coming back to our center, reconnecting back with those parts of ourselves, understanding why we have reacted the way we did. Okay, so all these mirrors through this prism to this lens, looking into this, okay? That's why, for example, the dragonfly is a spirit animal of illumination. Why? Because we human, we just have one lens in our eyes, but dragonflies, they have many, a lot of them, okay? And that's why they consider it like a special, really special animal, spirit animal in so many cultures, because it's about seeing through illusions, illuminating, okay, what we are doing in this process. So everything so we can become whole again. And of course, here we have two important symbols, the grail that I already explained, and the spiral. The spiral also, it also goes like through all these different layers and coming to the center. It's the same logic, okay? What matters the most is you also knowing this, really integrating you in that, okay? Your happiness, being you, acting according what your body says, okay? Because when you are content, when you are self-sufficient, then everything in your life works better, okay? Becoming the truth, which is also the symbol of the Holy Grail, living your truth, being who you are, okay? Breaking all the illusions, all the stories, all the labels, everything that you have, the stories that you have about yourself, about your partners, about other people in your life, okay, other things in your life, and really loving everything and admiring everything that you are, they are, and everything that you and they went through. Like seeing all these diversity of experiences, okay, and of everything, all these faces of you, okay. So it's seeing ourselves and other exactly as they are, because if we see things as they are, we cannot be disappointed, okay. We are disappointed because we had these stories and we had these expectations, and because we were putting people in these boxes, but it was not actually how we and where we put them, okay, because we are all everything, we are all, okay, all from the whole spectrum, okay. Because it's also about experiencing all that so you can come to this city, okay. It can come to the integration when it comes to balance. Before that, it cannot come to the integration of light and of your light body. It cannot come to that. This is just how it works. So of course you can see also on this picture all these layers, seeing, and with seeing, deciding what you want to do with this situation, with this lesson, with whatever is going on for you. And the more of these layers you let down, the more of these stories you let it go, the more you know yourself, the more you are connected with yourself. So building your pillar of light by being who you are, okay? The more you listen to yourself, the more you follow yourself, the more you are in your true essence, in your power, okay? The more you are embodied, the more you are integrated, okay? So breaking the illusions, the stories. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I think there is a mistake, but it's okay. So it's really about downward spiral and upward spiral, and understanding the depth, which is also, you can see it in the gray, the depth of things, okay? And also with the spiral, knowing all these layers and the understanding the depth of that thing, of that situation. Okay, of course, I put a lot of pictures here, so you have this visual as well. And you can see that it's really about balancing, okay, and coming into this core essence, really being who you are. So 2 is a number of duality, and on the other side, we are experiencing this duality in that kind of way. You can see the nature, okay, and all the birds, you know, all the animals, they all also have the day and night, which is duality. They all also have the ebb and flow, for example, for the sea, okay. They all have are experiencing the full moon and the new moon, okay. And I can give you one example. For example, the animals, they are not reacting to this duality in that kind of way that like we are, like going through all these extremes. Why? Because they don't have all these programs. And this is a perfect example that I was guided also to share here. Look at the animals that we have at home. Look at the dogs, the cats we have at home. They developed the same diseases that we do, cancer, and all of those things, right? Why? Because they are exposed to the same energies like we do. Why the animals that when they are in the wildlife, they don't have any of that problems, okay? So this is really showing you what this program is doing to us. Okay, so it's really about becoming with this frequency. We have this chance to become aware of this diversity, because it's just about diversity. Okay, it doesn't have to be black and white. Okay, there doesn't have to be a victim and persecutor. Okay, it doesn't have to be that way. So it's about enjoying this diversity this planet has to offer. Okay, and of course we can see also with the animals that it's about survival, but many eons ago it was not like that. But yeah, we can see just this difference that I point out here with the animals that we have at home, and they are living um, in the wild, in the forests, in the sea, all of that. And all the problems they have is because of pollution and the things that we are doing. So number 0, it's about reconnecting back with yourself, others, source. It's the source energy, is the God self. Okay, we talked about this. So it's also about gaining other perspective. We are this frequency 20. We are in all this together. We have really experienced that this year. But this goes for all the time. But because we are just like living all our days in our hands and we are occupied so much, we are not aware of it. But this year really made us realize that we are in all this together. And so many beautiful things are happening. People are really